All righty, here we go. We're going to roll those shoulders up, back and down. We're going to exaggerate that movement. So you squeeze those shoulders up, drop them back and down. Add a little bend of the elbow, open those arms, flip the hands, do a couple like that, just warming up that upper body. And then we're going to step out a little and engage that lower body. So we're going to bend the knees a little bit and pull those abs in. We're going to make that big squeezing motion. And again, rounding and squeezing. 2 more times like that. Beautiful. Remember that movement. For now, we're just going to step touch and do a little bicep curl. As a matter of fact, what the heck? Let's do grab our weights. So you won't be able to do a full range of motion with those biceps. So how about all the way down, halfway up? So straight and then to 90. And then in a moment, we're going to turn this into 2 steps to the right. We're going to hold the arms in 4, 3, 2, hands on your hips, 2 steps. Good. Arms are going to dangle, but get them out of your way. Thumbs come up. And we're going to add a tiny, 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 tiny little pulsing bicep. You can either just do 1 or 2, or you can try and get 4 of them in there. And if it screws up your coordination, don't do it. Couple more here. 1 more. Hold here, hands on your hips again. And give me a hamstring curl. Turn your thumbs up, bend those elbows in, press back every time your right leg comes up. One more time. Hold your arm there. Now do it when your left leg comes up. Good. Almost there. Beautiful. Step touch only. Shoulder rolls. Good. We're going to bring those arms up here. Toes in front. Open and close. Close and open. Four more. Arms up. Hold them here. Knees up. And we're going to add a little rotation. If this bothers your shoulders, drop those arms down a little. In a moment, we're going to stay on the right side. We're going to pick up the pace of the knees, but we're going to lower those arms. 4, 3, 2, here we go. Their arms a little lower. Again, small range of motion. 4 more. And last time, that bicep curl, that step touch. And then we're going to take 2 steps to the left and just hang on to the arms in 4, 3, 2, here you go. Hands can be on your hips, dangling by your side, totally up to you. And then you want to add a little bicep. Hold it here, step touch only, hands to your sides, hamstring curl. Let's turn the palms down this time. Press back, tricep. So right now I'm doing the tricep when my right leg comes up. 4, 3, 2, 1, hold the arm. And now you do it when that left leg comes up. And if that confuses you, just do what you need to do. David and Melanie, you guys look so coordinated. I love it. Last few. Good. Hands out front, toes out front. Give me like a hug a tree movement. Good. Hands right here, knees up. Add a rotation. And then again, we're going to double time on the left in a moment. Arms are going to come down and go to a smaller range. 4, 3, 2, here you go. Last few. Woo, step touch. Go ahead and just set your weights off to the side. Woo, shake those arms out. Roll those shoulders again. Wide stance. And bend those knees. Come on down. Roll into a cat stretch. Open into a cow. Roll into a cat. Good. And drop that right shoulder in and over your left. Back through center, left shoulder in, look over your right. Let's do that one more time to each side. And one more time. Beautiful. Big deep breath in. Arms come up, back, and down. All right. First exercise. We're going to take have both weights handy, one in the chair, the other one in your right hand. Your left leg is going to step forward almost right next to the chair, and it's going to bend enough that your elbows are going to be in the chair, right? And then your right leg is going to catch that weight. And then you need to do what you need to do. Your spine is longer, scoot that chair away. I don't want this. I don't want it in turtle position. I want length. Left knee is bent, right heel is flexed. Left knee stays bent for now. Head in line with your spine. Push that heel to the sky. So you're coming to a point where the thigh is parallel, but then you go up. So it's not down up, it's medium up. Come to center, press up. Come to center, press up. Good. 2 more like this. And now we're going to add both knees bend, left leg straightens as the right leg goes up. So now we're working that left hamstring at the same time. Head just stays in line. Again, try not to curl up into a little ball. Bottom length, ears out of your shoulders, long spine. I'm hoping we're feeling these by now. Last few. And last one. Grab that weight. Put your right foot down on the ground ahead of the left one. Roll through a cow, round through a cat, roll through a cow, round through a cat. We're going to do the other side. So again, that left leg, or excuse me, right knee is going to bend. We're going to grab that weight behind the left leg. Forearms in your chair. Long spine again, so you need to scoot that chair. Eventually, I'm going to go off screen. So I'm going to try and go from where my thigh is parallel to up. Parallel to up. Right knee stays bent initially. Head in line. And then we add on that right leg straightens as the left heel goes up in the air. So booty work on the left side, hamstring on the right. Long neck. Almost there. And relax, grab that weight, put it in your chair, step forward with that left leg, come forward in a cow, round back in a cat. Beautiful. Scoot back into your frame. Flip your chair around. All right, that weight is going behind that right thigh again. So we want to get it nice and secure, and we're bending that left knee again. I want the right thigh to be behind the left one, right? Not ahead, but a little bit behind. Chest is up, and then we're adding that weight in the right arm. Palm is facing you. Kind of open that chest in, and that shoulder. Left knee stays bent, and then we're mirroring the same movement with the leg and the shoulder. Again, try not to let that right knee sneak forward like this. Even when it comes back to center, try and keep it slightly behind the left. Just 4 more like this. Last few. The last one, hold the arm and the leg up. Elbow has a little bend, and we're gonna pulse, pulse, pulse. And relax. Woo, we get to do that on the other side. So weight behind the left leg, right knee is bent. We're calling the spine, abs are in, and we flare up and out to the side. Deltoid and outer hip. Trying to keep that left knee behind the right. And relax. All right. Wide stance. Come on down into a little plie. Doesn't have to be a big one. You guys can probably go further than I can. Make sure your knees don't collapse in. They're going out over your feet. So at the beginning of class, we did this movement. Up, around, open, and down. Especially right here, I want you to feel that little place behind your shoulders. I was going to make a not very pretty comment. Anything that's, just hanging there in space, part of your back. That's the area you want to be working. There's rear deltoid. Open it and squeeze it. Adding on, if you want, you can add movement with that lower body. Be careful of your shoulders. We are doing a little rotation here at the top. If that doesn't feel good to you, then you're just going to keep your palms facing you, right? If you can add that rotation, give those shoulders a squeeze. And again, we're adding on bending the knees. That's my Seuss rhyme for today. Hip, hip, hooray. If you wanted, you could lift your heels. So you come up on those tippy toes at the top. So a lot of movement going on, quads, a little bit of glute, hopefully still working those shoulders. I don't know about you guys, but it's humid over at my house, but I shouldn't say that because some people are in an even more humid environment. We're just not used to it in San Diego. A lush environment, sorry. Last two. Good. Last one, come down. You're on your tippy toes, right? Palms are up this time, sitting into it, abs in, tailbone long. We go from a W to a V, W to a V. Working those quads until they start shaking. If yours aren't shaking, sit a little deeper. Lift the heels a little higher. So booty goes lower, heels go higher until you're shaking. If that's still not happening, heels higher. Oh, it's happening for me, so I'm not doing it. And quads lower, a couple more. Woo! And relax. Set those weights down for a second. Bring that left arm up. Reach behind you like you're doing a backstroke. Bring it down. Right arm up and over. We're going to round, squeeze those shoulder blades open. Round them open, sorry. Bring your hands behind your head. Let go. Open your elbows. Feel a nice stretch across your chest. Nod your head, yes. Even drop the head a little bit. Shake that out. All right. We're back over to that right leg again. And with that weight behind it again. And we're going to be pitched forward, but this time we're at that higher level, right? We still don't want to be rounded. We want to be extended in that spine, right? And then here's what we're doing this time is that rotation open. And then the arm is going to be straight and lift straight. A little bit different than what we just did. This should be that rear deltoid right back here. back of your shoulder. Left leg should be getting kind of tired by now too. Try and keep your left hip underneath you as your right leg goes to the right. Almost there. Woo, bring it up, keep the weight where it is. Squeeze that booty, heel towards your booty. And then open that leg, right? So my heel is as close to my booty as possible. And we're going out on that weirdo angle, that annoying angle. Pinky is going to match it. So once again, working those shoulders. Whoop. I promise I did not drink before class. So pinky goes up, pinky toe goes up, almost there. Good. Relax. We will stretch in just a second. Let's just get that other side done. So weight behind that left leg, get that heel really close to your booty, slight hinge forward. All right, so this is that rotation with the leg, up and over. Arm is straight, same thing. Do what you need to do to support your spine, move that chair if you need to. Almost there. Beautiful. Feel really close to your booty, try and get them close. Rotate that leg open, and this is that funky angle. And then that pinky finger joins. Right knee stays bent, spine is tall. Two more. Good. I think I forgot a pulse on the other side, so here we go. And relax. Now we get to stretch a little. We're going to cross that right ankle over the left thigh. Bend that left knee, send your booty out. Get a nice arch in that spine. Really extend it. Roll it under. Send it out. Roll it under. One more time. Extend it out and then press that right hip even further open and stand it up. Left leg across the right thigh. Bend that right knee, send that booty out, arch your spine. Round it under. Send it out again. Round it under, and one more time, send it out, and this time press that left leg open at the same time. Good. All right. We'll start with one weight. You might have decided to add the other one, so have the other one handy. Left leg is slightly ahead, weight is in your right hand. Step back. We're just going to start with our dunking bird, right? So my left knee has just the tiniest bend in it, but mostly I'm working that left hamstring. When you're ready, that right arm turns into a tricep extension, pinky to the sky. That's why I said you may want to have your second weight handy for a little more challenge. But notice if that shoulder rolls forward, try to not let that happen. Your pinky is facing the sky. If you want a variation, turn your palm to the sky. Or you can turn your knuckles to the sky. Not too much weight on that left hand. You might not even need it. Maybe just your pinky on that chair. The fact that the weights are in your right hand will throw that balance off a little bit, so you may need to hold for a second. Almost there. Hopefully that left hammy is feeling this. And relax. We're going to switch that over and do the other side. So again, you may want to start with just that single weight, right leg slightly ahead of the left. And it's that dunking bird. So as my leg goes up, my chest comes down. Don't really need much weight here on your hands. And that tricep extension. And then again, if you want to, you have two weights. There's just the slightest bend in your right knee. And then again, you can try palm to the sky. You can try knuckle to the sky. Almost there. Beautiful. Bring that back. All right. Let's just leave that chair where it is for now. Put your weight on your left leg. Right leg is off to the side. Weights are in your right hand. I'm going to do a heel raise with my left leg. I'm not pushing off, right? Just gentle pressure here. If you want a little more challenge, set those weights on your right shoulder or lift them up. Leave them up. Big challenge. Oh man, bring them off to the side, right? If that's too much on your shoulder, you just bring that single weight or go back to closer to your body, right? So heavier weight closer to your body, lighter weight further away. But the further away you get that weight, the more you're going to feel it in that calf. Yes? Hopefully we feel it in that calf by now. Last few. And last one. We're going to get the other calf before we stretch. So weight on that right leg. Left leg hangs in space. This weight can rest on my left shoulder as my right heel lifts and lowers. Or I can bring it up here for a little challenge. I can bring it out a little for a little more challenge. And again, I'm not doing a tricep press, although that would be interesting, huh? Almost there. Last two. And last one. Now we'll stretch those calves. So I'm going to turn and face. I'm going to step back with my right foot. Roll up on those toes. Widen those toes. And then press that heel down without sticking the booty out, right? So booty comes with you. No booty sticking out. In that left knee and lunge far forward, pressing the right heel down and lunging into the left. Booty is under. Then bend that right knee, take it a little deeper into your soleus. Roll up on your toes, turn your toes in and your heel out, and then lunge. And this is kind of my favorite angle, not one that we get all that often. Bend that right knee to take it deeper. Roll up on your toes, turn the toes out and the heel in. Your hip will have a tendency to go. So put your hand on that hip and push it forward and lunge into that left leg press. And bend. Bring it up, right leg forward, left leg back. Way up on those toes, widen the toes, and then press down. Make sure your booty's not sticking out, it's with you. Lunge into that right leg. Delicious stretch of the calf, bend that left knee. Roll up on those toes, toe in, heel out, press forward, lunge. Bend that knee. Roll up on those toes, toes out, heel in. Make sure the hip didn't twist, right? So hips are still pointed straight ahead, lunge. Bend that left knee. And roll it up. All right, we're going to do one last little thing here from the chair. I don't think I'm going to use weights for this. It's just a little isolation for your pelvis, right? So something a little bit different here. Sit in your chair, sit tall through your spine. You're going to tuck your hips under so you're rolling onto your tailbone, and then tip your hips behind you so you're extending. So I'm going to turn sideways just to kind of clarify. And yes, you can do this with your whole body, but I'd prefer that you try and isolate the hips, right? So we're not doing this. Even look at your knees and see what's going on there. Can you keep your knees quiet? So it's a tuck and a tip, pelvic work. Yippee! Good, last two like that. Now we're just going to adjust side to side, left to right. All right, now here's a kind of challenging one. It actually is what we use when we walk. I want you to push your left hip forward and then roll your right hip under and then press it into extension. So you're just going to alternate which hip comes forward, and then you're going to alternate tucking and tipping. So it's kind of like a figure 80 kind of thing, or as if you're belly dancing. Your knees might move a little bit in this one. Good, and then circle. You're gonna extend. We're gonna go to one side. We're gonna tuck. other side, back to extension, reverse it, tuck, or side, front, other side, tuck, and reverse. Or if you want, if it's easier for you, go a few circles in one direction, then a few in the other. This is a lot of work for an area of our spine we don't have a ton of movement in, so be gentle. And if you need to, just go back to the rocks or back to the side to side. The full thing is a little bit of torque on those vertebrae down in your lumbar, and our sacrum doesn't really, adjust. It doesn't move that much. So be gentle, find what works for you. Believe it or not, I was sore from these yesterday. All right, come on up. We will not need our chair. We're going to bring our weights with us, and we are coming down to the ground. And we're going to start sideline for just one more round of outer hip work. So both weights are with you. Arm is underneath your ear. Create that little mouse house underneath your waist. Knees are stacked, hips are stacked, legs are stacked. I think most of us can put both weights on the top leg, and then just use the flat of your palm to hold the weights in place. So I'm not holding onto the weights, I'm just pressing them into my leg. I'm going to lift that leg as a unit, flex through that heel. Good. And now we're going to bring the heels together, toes apart. We're going to open those legs, and we're going to open them a little further, halfway close, open, halfway close. Just two more like this. Beautiful. All right, here's the fun one. We're going to leave the knees on the ground, lift the heels up in the air, and do that same open, halfway close. Ooh, waistline still lifted, right? Ah. Last time. Ooh, bring those weights down. Give that hip some love. Listen up, press up. The leg that just worked, keep it bent. And the other leg is going to go straight. Scoot up on your sit bones so you're sitting tall, and then the leg that just worked is crossing over. I'm not rolling off that hip, so push that hip down. With one hand, press that hip down. With the other arm, pull across. Then take that leg, flip it open, and notice if you wobble, try and sit on both sit bones and sit tall. Now you have three options. One, if this is enough, stay right there. Two, you can hinge if you promise to hinge by folding at the hips. It's really challenging to not do this. I exaggerated, but if you don't see a crease in your hips, you may have missed it. Or the other thing you can do is create that crease by bending the knee, but again, you can't lean back because you'd be avoiding it. So all of these are pretty intense stretches of that outer hip that we just worked. And you may not even need to add on. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and just get the other side done. So come on over onto the other side. You want to lie down, 90 degrees at your knees, hips are stacked, toes are pulled back in a flexed position, weights are on top of that top leg, waistline is lifted off the ground, mouse house, arm is resting under your ear, leg lifts as a unit. Good. Now heels together, toes apart, open all the way, close halfway. Open, close halfway. Good. Knees down, heels in the air, open, close halfway. Two more. And relax. Ooh, give that hip a little love. When you're ready, sit up with that same knee bent. Scoot onto your hip sit bone so you're sitting really tall, and then cross that leg over. And again, you don't want to roll off that hip, you want to push that hip down, pull that leg across. And then you can let that leg flip open, and that may be plenty of stretch. If you're going to hinge, you have to lift and then hinge, not roll back and then hinge. Or again, you can bend that knee without leaning back. All right, okay. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to lie all the way down. Grab your weights. We're going to be in a bridge position. So if you like your feet to be hip distance apart, that's fine. If you want your feet to touch and your knees to touch, that's awesome. I'd like you to take both weights and put them on your left hip. And then again, I'm just going to use my left hand to hold them in place. I'm not going to squeeze grip those weights, just hold them there. Right hand on the ground. You're going to do your best to lift up with both hips equally, right? That left hip's going to want to drop. Try not to let that happen. Lift your right hand, and that might be enough of an add-on. When I lift my right hand off the ground, I don't have that extra point of contact. My left hip really wants to droop, so I have to work a little harder. But finally, if you want, you could lift that right leg up in the air, and you could lift and lower that leg, but you make sure that that left hip is staying up, please. Hips nice and even. Just two more. Right knee bends. Woo! Hips come down. Weight's over to your right hip. Right where that hip flexor crease is. Hands on that weight. Left hand down by your side. You're going to lift up nice and straight as a unit. Try and make sure that right hip isn't drooping down, right? And then hover that left hand. And again, that might be enough. If you want a little more, maybe put the left hand back down, try that left leg up in the air, and then lift and lower without moving that right hip. Two more. And relax. As you bring those knees in, just put those weights on the fronts of the shins and use that to give yourself a little extra stretch here. Maybe a little rock side to side. Palms up, weights in both hands. Take those hips just a little bit side to side, just warming up here. And then back through center. Leave one weight on the ground. Other weight comes into your hands, right between both hands. Deep breath in. Exhale, poke a hole in the ceiling with your fingers. Try and get both shoulder blades off the ground, head in line with your spine. And then on the inhale, stretch those arms up over your head. You could even turn your palms underneath that weight and feel extra challenge. Exhale down, inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, stretch and reach. And exhale down. Now, keep going. These weights add a lot. So if it's too much, if you feel it in your neck, then just do it with just your hands. Or you could try doing a couple, right? And then doing one where you lift the weight, stretch it over your head. There's your challenge. Keep the ribs down, even though I didn't have to lift my head up. So you have a couple of options. Just give me two more, whichever one you've chosen, please. And then you're putting one weight in each hand. Shoulders press into the mat, lift them up, press them into the mat, lift them up, press them into the mat. One more time, lift them up, press into the mat. Lift your legs tabletop, so knees are directly over your hips. Take your left leg, point the toes up in the air. Head can stay down or lift up. Right arm goes up by your ear, left toes point, left arm reaches. Inhale back to center. Right leg is going to reach, left arm reaches overhead. Inhale, center. Left leg, right arm, stretch and reach. Inhale, center. Right leg, left arm, stretch and reach. Keep it going for me. And again, you're creating resistance with those weights and those arms and legs being levers. So if you don't want to lift your head up, you certainly don't need to. You have 4 more of whatever you're doing, please. And then relax. Just let those feet rest on the ground for a moment. 1 weight in each hand, deep breath in, exhale, slide your hands along the ground, lifting your shoulder blades off the ground, just like we did a minute ago for ab prep. We're going to add on to this, and then lift the arms up, maybe just to knee height. Exhale back down again, inhale. Exhale, lift. On the inhale, maybe lift those palms up to knee height. Exhale down 1 more time. Exhale, lift. Arms lift just to knee height on the inhale, hold, and then exhale down. Inhale to prepare. This time, if you want, exhale up. See if you could come all the way up without kicking your legs out. Inhale at the top, lower the hands. Exhale, roll down a vertebra at a time. So we're either doing roll-ups, that means you're coming all the way up without kicking your legs out. You can certainly, if you're doing roll-ups, you can extend those legs, right? But no momentum. Or if that's not a good idea for you, you're just doing that partial roll-up. You come up halfway, you lift your arms, you feel that challenge, you stop, you exhale, you come down. So lots of options. The breathing is the same. You're inhaling at the top and the bottom. You're exhaling through the movement. Whichever one you're doing, give me 4 more, please. Remember, it's slow with control, so try and take 4 counts up, 4, 3, 2, better 1, and 4 counts down. 4, 3, 2, control, good. I think you probably have at least 1 more. And then next time you come down, you're going to stay down. We're going to take just a single weight and we're going to put it below our knees, wherever you can hold it. So usually at the fleshy part, the muscular part where your gastroc is, that's a good place to hold it. And you're going to go into that tabletop again. But this time we're going to take that other weight and you have a couple options. You can put it across your ribs and make your ribs say, oh, I need to tuck in. Or you can put it down in your low abs and make your abs say, oh, that's breakfast there, right? Or you could put it the length, so it's both. So wherever you choose, the idea is that you keep that connection of ribs flat, abs in. Arms out to the side, palms up, deep breath in. Exhale, staple your belly button to the spine. Keep your knees bent. On the inhale, let your thighs move away from your body for toe touch with weights. Exhale, bring it up. Now, if that's a surprise and you're like, what? Take the weight away and do toe touch. And if that still feels like it's too much on your low back, you're going to do a single leg toe touch. That means one knee stays in tabletop, the other one, the thigh moves away from the body. And again, it might be pointed toes, it could be heels flexed. Again, it could be both legs at the same time, pointed toes or flexed heels. And you can do both legs with that weight. So lots of options. So again, whichever one you're doing, let's do 6 more of those, please. And when you finish that last one, you're going to grab both weights and put them down on top of your ankle. And you're going to hold your hands on each side. If this is too much for your low back, you're just going to rock side to side. And in a minute, you'll roll over and meet us. Otherwise, you're rolling like a ball. Exhaling to roll up with control. Toes stay off the ground on the inhale at the top. Exhale to roll. Inhale to pause. Try and keep your knees the same distance from your chest throughout. And then next time you come up, go ahead and roll all the way up. Put your feet on the ground or roll over to your side and meet us there. Pull those glutes out from under you. Sit nice and tall. Give yourself a little hinge forward. Walk those hands maybe down to your ankles or wherever. Use your biceps to pull yourself deeper. We're going to do this with bent knees so you're getting a spine stretch, not anything else, right? Pull your toes back, but you might be getting a hamstring stretch, sorry. Pull your toes back, pull on those, but keep your spine lifted. We're not tucking and rounding, we're staying tall. You can play with your feet for a second, that feels really good. If you're at that point in life where you look down and you wonder why your toes are starting to curl, maybe a good idea to help them go the other way. Good, and then we'll press up sitting nice and tall. We're gonna sit cross-legged for just a second. Just comfortable, one leg in front of the other, but remember which leg is there. Rotate to your right, right hand behind you, left hand on your right knee, give it a little rotation twist. Back up through center, other way, left hand supports. Come back through center, give me a little hinge forward, feel that stretch in your hips. Again, don't slouch or you'll miss it. Uncross your legs, recross the opposite leg in front, pivot to the left, left hand behind you, sit tall. Inhale back to center, right hand behind you, sit tall. Center and hinge. And again, outer hip stretch, it's going to feel probably pretty different one side to the other. And then come on up. All right, let's see. Let's just get a little bit of extension here, but yeah, I'm gonna be nice. We were gonna use the weights on our legs, but we're not yet. Maybe, we'll see. Come on down onto your abs, grab your weights. Palms are facing the ceiling and one weight in each hand. So it's really easy for these shoulders to droop. So the first thing I want you to do is center your head and lift the shoulders. And let them droop, lift them up, let them droop, lift them up, let them droop, lift them up, leave them there. So now you should have awareness of what muscles need to work there. Keep those shoulders pulled back, keep your head in line with your spine, lift your arms up, stretch your leg, or excuse me, stretch those arms long, all 10 toenails push into the ground, exhale, stretch your hands down towards your knees, shoulder blades are gonna rotate. Squeeze in together by rotating those pinkies to the sky and then come down. Deep breath in. Exhale, kneecaps lift, toes push down, belly button lifts, shoulders lift, arms lift, reach, rotate palms to face each other, pinkies to the sky, and exhale down. All one motion. Deep breath in. Exhale, everything lifts. Inhale, we rotate to lift and open, and exhale down. Again, deep breath in. Exhale, lift, stretch, reach, rotate. And exhale down last time. Exhale, lift, stretch, reach, and relax. And let's just press back in our shell stretch. So your hips sit back on your heels, your arms can be by your sides, you can tuck them under your knees, get a little extra stretch here. Then as you come up, bring those hands way out in front of you. Let's undulate through a cow and rotate back in a cat. And then we're going to go ahead and move on over onto our spine. Left foot stays on the ground. We're going to use one weight over on the right side, and then the other weight is going behind your right knee. You're going to use the head of that dumbbell to bring that knee up and over towards your right shoulder, a little bit over to the right, a little bit in, a little bit over, a little bit in, a little bit over, and let that left leg just relax. And then start to get some movement through that right ankle, some circles, pointing and flexing. And then bring that back to center. Take the weight carefully onto the ball of your foot, lift your foot up, and then we're just going to roll that so that you pull your toes back, but do not hit yourself in the face. And then push the toes against it. Pull back, push the toes up, pull back, and then push the toes up. Then it goes to the ball of the foot, pull the toes back, ball of the foot flexes, ball of the foot pushes, toes up. One more time, toes back, ball of the foot back. Good, and roll it to the center of your arch. Ball of the foot and the toes come back, and then they press up one more time like that, back and up. And now just hold it there. Don't push so hard against your foot that you break your little bones in there, please. Knees coming down, heelers flexing up. We should feel a hamstring stretch. And then slide that weight to the back of your leg. Straighten your left leg out, flex through the heel, point your right toes, lift yourself up, use your dumbbell to pull yourself, trying to get your nose and your knee as close together as possible. Flex through the right heel as you come down. And then just take that weight in your right hand for a moment, lower that right leg. Woo, it should feel really good. It should feel flatter, closer to the ground. We're not quite finished with it. So you're gonna bend that right knee again, take that dumbbell behind it again, use the left hand this time to pull it up and over to the left. So I'm using the head of that dumbbell to get a beautiful stretch on the outside of that right hip. And then I'm gonna put the right foot on the ground. Weight goes over to the right, and I'm gonna flip my legs open. So I'm gonna pass the figure 4. Bend that left knee, extend that left leg up in the air. Let's move through that left foot. And then lastly, I'm going to cross my right knee all the way over. I'm going to slide my hands under 1 or 2 of those weights that are over on the right side. Palm up. That's going to help me keep that right shoulder down as my knees drop to the left. Then come on back up through center, uncross, put one weight over to the left, and then the other one goes behind your left leg. We use that head of the dumbbell to pull the knee up and over to the left shoulder, over and up, and then we'll get some movement through that ankle. Rotating, pointing and flexing. Good. We're going to bring that back to center. We're going to reach up, put that at your toes, flex the heel to the sky, push up with your toes and pull back. Push up and pull back, push up and pull back. Move the weight to the ball of the foot. Press and pull, press and pull, press and pull. And then to your arch, pull back, push up, pull back, and push up. And then move it to the back of the leg, stretch your right leg out on the ground, flex through that right heel. Bend your elbows to lift your nose up to your left knee, pull it in, flex through the heel, come down. And then bring that weight over to the left for just a second as that left leg comes down. Feel that openness, I hope, on that side. And then finally, we'll pull that knee in. Use the head of the dumbbell to pull the knee up and over towards your right shoulder, using your right arm to do that. Don't let that left hip come too far off the ground. And then cross the right ankle over the left thigh, let it pivot open. Bend that right knee, hug it in, thread your needle. Maybe move through that right ankle again. And then bend both knees. Slide your hands under 1 or 2 weights over on that left side so that left shoulder will stay down better as your knees come over to the right in a twist. And then gently mosey your way back through center. We're going to meet on hands and knees, however it is you want to get there. We're going to undulate that cow and cat again. So arms out front, coming forward in your cow and rolling back in your cat. And then walk your hands back, tuck your toes, lift your hips, pedal your heels out if that might feel good. And then give me a wide stance, hang over, nod yes and shake no, bend your knees, round into your cat, inhale into your cow, and lift it up. We have our curtsies.